All right. I'm I'm not gonna act like I'm not feeling some type of way about this. I'm waking up just devastated. Absolutely gut wrenched right now. This series, this man has been as part as me being alive. This this year is just this is one of the worst years ever. Ever. In my opinion. You say there's a lot of stuff probably happened in the past, but this hits too different for me, man. Legit. I mean, like, what the fuck, man? Like what the fuck, bro? Like seriously. Akira Toriyama, the first time, like literally, Akira Toriyama was the first time I've ever seen manga or ever seen anime in general. I mean, waking up figuring out this news was a wound. You know how like they say in Star Wars, it's a wound in the force? This is a wound in life. It's a wound in the anime community. It's a wound in the gaming community. It's a wound to all creators. I always say in my videos that Dragon Ball is one of the three main pillars of my channel or my logos. Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Solo Leveling. Akira Toriyama has been with me since I was 5 years old. The first time I saw Dragon Ball, I was 5 years old. And this was back in like 94. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm probably pretty much telling you guys my age right now, even though I look a bit different. About what, 94, 95. The first thing I saw of any anime in particular, I've talked about this in a prior video. Goku versus Frieza, it was the ending of the fight. It was at 5:30 a.m. I woke up. I didn't have school. I don't know what day it was. I woke up. It was 5:30 a.m. And me and my brother we're just looking at saying, what is this? What is this cartoon? Because we didn't know what anime was back then. We was like, oh, it's a cartoon. Me and my older brother, right? Goku was sitting there talking to Frieza. I think it was the ocean dub back then. I can't remember. I know the 100% scene though. Goku sitting there looking over Frieza. Frieza's on the ground. I was like, what? Honestly, you think you won? And he had his whole little spiel and he goes this, be the most powerful beating in the universe. That's probably the Funimation dub. I don't remember the ocean dub was like that back then, but goes in there, Goku said, you fool. Kills him, man. But all I remember back then was like, yo, this is a cool cartoon. Like, I didn't know what was going on. You saw the flashing lights, you see Namek blowing up. It was some of the coolest things I've ever seen, ever. Because it was like, this wasn't the cartoons, this wasn't Looney Tunes back then. You know, this wasn't Tex Avery, this wasn't Warner Brothers, this wasn't none of that stuff. I was like, holy crap, like, what is this? See the man, the myth, Goku. And then years later, I don't know anything about Dragon Ball. Come to fast forward, you come to Toonami when it drops, right? And me and my brother like, yo, coming home after school. This is the show. This is the show he was looking. And we soon as we saw it, the first episode that played, it was mid-season in the Raditz saga. Or the Saiyan saga, it's the mid-season. It was already Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz. You know, Goku already took off his weights. Piccolo already took off his weights. They're just going hand, blah, 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 fighting Raditz. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Because we missed the first episodes. And ultimately, eventually, we started watching it. And when, like, I'm going to say late 90s, early 90s. Yeah, it's early 2000s, right? My dad comes home with some VHS tapes. And he's like, this is the show you guys have been looking at. And he handed it to us. It was a Saiyan Saga. I'm like, you know what? Was hooked ever since, man. Those Dragon Ball, I still have one VHS tape over here, and my brother has the other ones. But Dragon Ball means a lot to people because it literally is the godfather of anime that I learned. And then later on I learned, okay, Akira Toriyama was the creator. So we start digging, you know, then he made Dr. Slump. And then later on, even in Shonen Jump, he made Sandland. Like still got to get into. My brother read it. I didn't read it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna be playing the game. I'm gonna support it because ultimately I always support. Man, it's like I'm just rambling on, just reminiscing of how this dude pretty much just shaped me as a person. Yeah, how people say, "Oh, shape me as a person." Yeah, ultimately, I'm not sitting here lifting weights. I used to lift weights. I may get back into it because they want to be fit like Goku. You know what I'm saying? I see. Shout out to Jax Blades, man. I used to watch your videos back in the day. I probably should go back into some future workout reviews and stuff like that. SS4 Goshen, yeah, I watched your videos too. Yeah, you a fan, all right. You a fan. Black Boma, you a fan. Even though you got some beef with a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube, whatever, they got beef with you. I see you. There's a lot of people. RDC World 1, hey man, you boys is killing it right now. Good shit. But for me in general, I've always been a part of Dragon Ball. Akira Toriyama has always been a part of me. I remember the first Dragon Ball toys I got. I still remember to this day. My father, man, I love my father. I love my family. My dad, he was always interested to see what me and my brother was into. He was always, hey, always still around. He still is. He's always talking to me about Dragon Ball. It's like, he loves Dragon. His favorite character is Frieza. He loves Frieza, man. Stupid monkey. Oh man, Chris Ayers, man, rest in peace to you too, man. Yeah, Frieza. I remember we collected the Dragon Ball Z cards, the original prints. I remember. Oh my god, dude! Like I'm getting so much flashback, but back to the topic. I remember. Let me put this down. I remember my Christmas, right? Going home, you see all. I still have some of the old toys as well. I know they're not worth it. They're probably worth something, but I don't have the original box. Something like that. I'm not really a collector back then. Went under the tree and hanging on the tree. My dad put about 15 to 10 days in advance before Christmas. He hung up all these Dragon Ball. He hung up some Dragon Ball clothes. Back then, we didn't have clothes. Anime merch wasn't popular like that back then. You had some embroidery beanies. So I had a beanie. We had the toys hanging up on the tree. I didn't know who Broly was. I got Broly. I got Vegeta because back then those toys, what they had was they had the armor and the pieces you just plug and play. You put them on there, but the armor, they had guns for some reason. They had guns. Krillin had a freaking assault rifle and stuff like that. Goku, he had to put the hair on, but the armor pieces, the gis and stuff, you pretend you punch him and the armor just pops off, bro. And this is like early 2000s stuff, man. Early 2000s. Like, Dragon Ball was in my freaking poster. This is one black poster me and my brother had on our freaking door. It's just Goku, the Z5, the original Z fighter just looking out into space. Man, that iconic photo was so awesome, bro. Man, and just think, I'm just talking about Dragon Ball, not to mention Chrono Trigger. All these years I've never played Chrono Trigger. It's not like I didn't want to play the game. I was trying to find a good way to play the game in high quality, so I was hoping out for a remake for a series. But I see it's on Nintendo Switch Online, but I wanted them because I heard they were coming out with a remake for it, and I was hoping for that so I could play it. But I'm not gonna. Like, I know I'm extremely sad. I'm extremely sad, but I'm just reminiscing right now. It's just, I'm not that good with words and appreciation. I've never been good with speeches, or communications in high school. Oof, man. I remember I passed the whole class. I did one speech, one freaking speech. And that speech was, what was it about? I think it was about, I don't know. I think it was CO2 emission gases, whatever. And I was a science kid back then. So anyway, fast forward. I'm not that good with speeches. So if I come across, I'm gonna say I'm coming across insensitive. It's just, I try to delve myself into things to not deal with pain. That's just how I've always been. Like, I've been dealt with wounds a lot, and I try to bottle it up most of the time. It. I ain't trying to be vulnerable. I mean, you guys see what I'm saying? It's like, it is what it is. But anyway, we ain't here to talk about that. That's me saying that's probably gonna cause a whole nother world problems with people that actually see this thing, if any. But I know there's a lot of people that have been inspired by Dragon Ball, inspired by Akira Toriyama, that they're really going through it right now. Everybody is going through. I've been reading posts. Man, Kishimoto's post, gut-wrenching from the Naruto creator. Ichiro Oda's post, gut-wrenching. But man, the one that really got, I know they were his students, or not his students, but they looked up to him. They were calling him a friend. That was a very emotional post. I'm not gonna take nothing away from that. I'm like, you know what? I felt that. I felt that while reading it. But one of them that stuck out to me is of course is the Dragon Ball fandom. Toyo Taro. If you guys don't know Toyo Taro, he's the writer. He's the co-writer of Dragon Ball Super. He literally said, all he said was, I'm not gonna quote. This is pretty much what he said. Only reason I got into manga is because of him, and now he's gone. This is the only reason he does manga is because of Akira Toriyama. He wanted praise from Akira Toriyama. Look out for him, man. To be honest with you, just you got to, man. Like, if there's one thing that Akira Toriyama has passed down to a lot of people, it's the values of what Goku stood for. It's the values of what he believes things to be true. Of course, there's Arale, comedy gag manga, and then there's Goku. Without Dragon Ball, anime would not be popular in the West. It wouldn't be. It's extremely popular in the Latin community. Shout outs to y'all, man. I remember when 2017, right? When the Tournament of Power was going off, boy, you guys was renting out theaters. You guys out in the street having parties, watching these episodes, Goku versus Jiren, just going freaking ham. Bro, some of the most hype moments was back when I was watching that. Ever. It was just so clean. And, off topic, man. I remember, you guys probably know him. Back in the day, his name was Elite Vegeta. Elite Vegeta Dragon Ball AMVs. You guys know him as Sayrex? You guys know him? Hey, I can never pronounce his name. Ever. It's SE Rex. He hangs out with what was that boy's name? You guys know what I'm talking about. How do I forget? He played Dragon Ball Fighters with Dashi and all. They're friends. My bad. I'm sorry, bro. You know who I'm talking about. I'm gonna say white boy, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I respect him though. That dude, they came up back in the day, bro, watching his videos and stuff. Anyway, back in the day, Sayrex, I'm gonna call you C-Rex. You were a big inspiration to me as well. You was up there making those high tier Dragon Ball AMVs. And people don't know back in the day, listen, I'm gonna give you a little secret. I was a major AMV maker and a major, mad maker. I don't know, I've been retired for a little bit. I'm gonna go back. I've been saying, hey, I'm gonna come back. You guys caused me to make AMVs. Literally, people, for a whole bunch of these people that's like, hey, you're showing your age. Guys, let me tell you something. Back in the day, early 2000s, mid 2000s, I was one of the forefronts. Yes, me. You guys see my face, but you probably don't recognize those on my account. Making Dragon Ball AMVs with saliva, not skillet. Skillet was just popping off then. With freaking 9-inch nails, freaking, oh my god, not Hoobastank, Limp Biscuit. Oh my god, all these old AMVs. I'm one of the causes for that, and I'm glad to see where the community went. People making AMVs and stuff like that. I really cherish that. If you guys figured it was me, because my account was, I just pretty much went dormant with that account. Is, you know what? They don't like us. So we stopped that. We moved to something else. And then eventually I started making Mads. If you guys know what Mads is multi-anime dogas. I pretty much made a bunch of those. My best Mad that I've ever made, and that's supposed to be Akira Toriyama but the best video I ever made, I'm gonna stop talking about me. It was you guys can look it up now. I put it up on my other channel. I re-uploaded it. It's Dragon Ball Super Goku versus Beerus Diver. I'm the creator of Diver. Back in the day, it had 700,000 views. It was going everywhere. A whole bunch of people stole my video. But what they didn't know is, since I'm a mad maker and I somehow understand some kanji, I put in the kanji of the text, I put my freaking name. So if you try to take my stuff, you guys know who it is, because not a lot of people are mad makers. They don't read kanji. But you can see my name in there. So I got that unlocked. All I'm going to say is, this is going to be felt a long time. A very long time, and it probably won't go away in the anime community, manga community. These people have been inspired by him for so many years. it is hard to believe that we had to find out. Because just think, people, we're finding out now. This is the filming of this video was March 8th. He passed away March 1st. March 1st. So we can assume that people in his inner circle, even Ichiro Oda and all of them, his editors and Kishimoto, they knew then. And that was around the same time that he took his break. Was it a scheduled break? We don't know, because we know for a fact that was his idol. That was his hero. We know it for a fact. Some of these things is not what it seemed to be. So we thought it was a normal break. We probably took it off for that and for mourning. This series right here, I will always love this series in any form and fashion. The OG series will always be my favorite. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, all that's continuation of one. And then when he came back out, 2013, took Dragon Ball to a new level. Took Dragon Ball to a new plateau. Took Dragon Ball to a new realm. All I know is there's a lot of eras where Dragon Ball has come in. This is still the 40th anniversary for Dragon Ball as well. He was so excited for Daima. He was so excited for the story he wanted to tell. I don't know where Dragon Ball or anything he's a part of will go from here. But ultimately, we know there is a shift. I don't know where Dragon Ball can go right now. It's hard to believe, man. Yeah, I'm a cut this off. I don't want to see people tear me up, but you know, it is what it is, people. Ain't nothing we can do about it. We can always appreciate what Akira Toriyama does. This is probably the longest video I've ever had. A standalone video, roughly 20 minutes, just me talking, reminiscing. But we're gonna have some Akira Toriyama appreciation stuff. You know, we can play some games, inspiration. We can talk about Dragon Ball, my best moments of Dragon Ball OG, Z, Super. We could talk about the potential future of Dragon Ball, because it's for me, this is Dragon Ball's home. It's never going anywhere. I have my Dragon Ball merch everywhere. You guys are gonna see that inside the room. I have my statues in the back, my posters, my games, my clothing, everything, man. This was my favorite form of fiction, and the creator's gone. So we knew this was coming at some point, but not like this, man. Like, for real. All I'm gonna say is, man, appreciate Akira Toriyama for what he was, and hopefully things can change in the future. So, all right, let me cut this off before I start tearing up, man. Let me get out of here.